And welcome to the Throwback Guitar Lounge podcast, episode number 60. Where are we? Our special semi-quincentennial celebration show.
Semi-quincentennial?
Semi-quincentennial. Do you know what a quincentennial is? Well, you've got to wait another 250 years to get that one. So we have a semi-quincentennial. So quincentennial is 500 years. Semi-quin is 250.
All right, this will be airing on the 4th.
Look at the blowing in the wind. It's like magic in here.
Well, you require certain temperature control.
Airflow.
Otherwise, it's in your contract.
I need it.
You won't do it. So we got a fan just for you.
So we have a special 4th of July episode. And I thought, well, what better way to kick off the 4th of July? We have red, white, and blue guitars behind us.
That's right. I've got right up there.
But I thought we'd have I'd give you a special treat because we haven't been getting any treats. And Paul's got one
it's
too.
It's a World Cup McDonald's
No, it's not a
bag.
World Cup. Not a World Cup. Forget about the World Cup. It is.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Well, let's take a look at Paul. Paul's got one too.
Yeah, Paul's got one.
Paul, right there. Oh, we'll do this all together. I have no idea what this is. It smells like French fries.
Unfortunately, I couldn't keep it hot, but
it's not very hot.
I'm sorry about that.
It's false advertising.
It's a hot apple pie that's not hot.
But it's better than just a hot apple. They just released these last week. This is a reissue of the traditional McDonald's fried hot apple pie.
Oh, so this has got saturated fat and everything?
You know, they've had baked ones since the early 90s, but this is like a throwback for a throwback show.
Oh, so this has been deep fried.
This is the way they used to do them. Do you remember these?
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time since I...
You have to try one.
Oh, yeah, it's a crispy. Oh, my gosh, everybody's left the show because we just bit into a not hot apple pie.
That's pretty good, though.
Hey, Paul, what do you think of your not hot apple pie?
I'm going to put it in our not so great microwave for about a minute, and maybe it'll be warm.
Don't put it in for a minute. Minute would be too long. Probably like 20 seconds.
Okay.
Or an air fryer. If you had an air fryer, I think that would be perfect.
Oh, well, thank you for the not hot apple pie. It is. You can tell it's.
We're not sponsored by McDonald's,
deep fried.
but they are good. And it's.
How long are they deep frying these things?
I don't know. They're limited time. They just came out on the 23rd, and I think they're sticking around.
Are they afraid their customers will expire of hardened arteries too quickly?
Well, I told my kids about these. I said, "Oh, the apple pies back in the day, they were glorious. Now they've taken all that away." But then Popeyes started doing one, and in Canada, Harvey's Hamburgers does a fried one. And I had one at Harvey's one time, last couple of years. I said, "This is pretty close to what McDonald's used to be like."
Okay.
So.
Wow.
But I'm a mess now. I have to.
Okay, let's get to
the guitar argument. The guitar argument.
You got to talk about the show. Not hot apple. Not hot.
I know.
Not hot. Not hot apple pies.
We'll be trending with all the McDonald's fans. The guitar argument this week is the era of the tube amp over.
It's a big moment.
Joe Bonamassa
did the unthinkable.
He did the unthinkable. The guy who is all about vintage amps and spending every dollar he has on some, rare Dumble amplifier has gone to a Fender Tone Master high-powered twin amplifier he's going to take out on his summer tour.
I hear the next thing is one of those Line 6 guitars that'll make every sound is going to replace his whole collection. Well, what are those called? Was it the Variax?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Variax. Remember those?
He's keeping that one secret.
He's going to have one guitar. And they can fire his roadie.
So we're going to talk about the demise of the tube amp is now official.
It looks like it's over.
Oh my gosh!
You can just take those out into the backyard and just
I got some in here.
Put them on the bonfire for this weekend.
Okay. So that'll be the guitar argument.
Yep.
Should we go right to the throwback mailbox?
Yeah.
All right.
I think people want to hear what.
All right. Let's see
what the news
going on
is
there.
So
hold on. Let's check in with Paul. I think he may have walked away. No, he's there.
Did he heat it up?
I did.
He's pretty eager to eat that. Okay, Paul.
Is it good?
Wow. Now, you had a Burger King cup up there a little while ago, Paul. Will this make you change your fast food choices?
Equal opportunity, yeah.
No, but the burger that I took 2 bites out of and threw away this morning will make me change my choices.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay. All right. Well, Paul is working on a super secret project right there. We'll get back to him later about this, I think.
Tell us what's going on.
Okay. Right now, let's do the throwback mailbox.
Okay, so the first question from the last episode that a viewer left on the comment page was, is there going to be an update on your vintage fender pickup winder on the podcast sometime?
The Fullerton.
The Fullerton
457, is that right? Or 456? I got to look at the tag again.
I'm going to go with 457.
Okay.
That I think is right.
Yes, we're going to start with the 52 set that we played already. And I need to, and this weekend I'm going to start on the page for that. Need to set up the page on the website and the shopping cart page, and then the mayhem ensues. Everybody's going to want one. Everybody already wants one.
Just to let people know this, how dedicated, 4th of July, 250th
I got nothing
anniversary of the country.
The apple pies are my highlight of my weekend.
That'll be it.
Yeah.
So you could get the website in order.
Yeah.
Okay. So people.
After that, I'll 56 Strat and a 59 Strat. I'm going to prototype those
56
on that. Yeah. I actually had the 59 sort of worked out with, but now that I've got this, the Fullerton 457 winder, I wanna really try it on that because I think it's going to give it a different flavor in a very good way. So that and maybe an Esquire set also.
Nice.
So we're kind of the rough plan right now is 4 different sets with that one-of-a-kind valuable winding machine, which is now under plexiglass. Did I mention this before?
I don't think you have. I got a
plexiglass enclosure for it.
Museum quality.
Of course.
Yeah, correct.
And to keep the dust off of it, and also so we don't inadvertently drop anything on it. But also just because it makes it look even cooler.
And are you going to put lasers going zigzagging?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the plan was lasers to protect it. If the beam is broken, lights flash, sirens go off, police are called, FBI, and the only way that we think it can be defeated is if someone from Cirque du Soleil drills a hole in the ceiling, comes down on a silk rope, and an acrobat picks it up and takes it out that way.
We don't want that.
At least that's what we're thinking that would be the only way, but we might have a contingent plan to defeat even that attempt. Okay. Is there more mailbot?
Do you think, I was thinking, we said Cirque du Soleil. Do you think there's a connection between Cirque du Soleil and Engine de Pontine?
It could be.
Because they are kind of like out there.
Could be. Maybe that's why they got the
Maybe the French Canadians have got something going on. We got to investigate.
Maybe.
I got another comment. Two viewers left comments stating that the throwback P90 dog-ear pickup sounded better than the vintage one.
Got a mixed response. Some people preferred the vintage one. Yeah, and again, I think something different is going on with the vintage one in terms of how it's wound. That is not one that I've taken apart, and I will not take apart because I don't want to, because it's a totally original guitar. But I may be doing a little experimenting with that, and if I can, and maybe I can talk myself into getting a historic reissue 59 Les Paul Jr. I've been working on talking myself in.
Now, with the original 59 vintage guitar, would you take the cover off it, or you don't even want to do that?
No, I can do that, but really beyond the resistance, and maybe I can slide the magnets out of there. I can do that without. I think there's enough room to kind of tilt the pickup and do that. I think I know what's in there, but I can double check.
Right.
But there's a few things I can do that are non-invasive that wouldn't devalue the guitar. So maybe I'll revisit that idea.
And then the only news item I had was that a well-known callings artist was filling in on the Bob Dylan tour
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
last month.
Alan Hines. Wait, no.
No.
Oh, no, wait, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. I was thinking, I'm not Bob Dylan. That's not Bob Dylan.
You're thinking of
I was thinking of
Colin
Alan
Hay.
Hines with Colin Hay. Yeah.
The Men at Work tour.
That's what first came into mind when you said, because Alan Hines is a customer of ours. And Colin Hayes also uses Collins guitars and has some pickups in ours. But
Right.
yes, you're right.
So Bob Dylan had all his guitars deserted in a 2-week period, but Julian
Yeah.
Lage came in and filled in before Bob Britt left last Saturday. And now is it Dan Lancio and Bob Britt, who've been on the tour for...
Is Joel Patterson in?
Now, as of last Saturday, Joel Patterson is the sole guitar player, and it's only a 4-piece now.
So it's not. So
So it's Bob, Tony Gagne on bass, Anton Fig on drums, and Joel Patterson. on guitar.
so the
So he's not going to have 2 guitar players anymore.
okay. So the whole idea of Julian Lage, that's already done.
I think they said, I believe it is, because I think Julian Lage could not do the gig on last Saturday on the 27th. He had a previous commitment in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
So I think Bob knew that going in, that he could only do like 2 weeks of gigs or so.
Okay, and he has done that already.
Yeah, that's over.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Well, Joel Patterson is a customer of ours too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's playing. I saw there was some.
Really cool retro sort of
I saw Bob Dylan a year ago
very good player.
down in Kalamazoo, and they made you put your cell phone in a sealed pouch that then they gave back to you, and then to leave when you left, they just had some little thing and they unzipped it or they had magnetized it or however it was done. And then I turned to the guy beside me, and he just pulls his phone out. So they really weren't enforcing it, but most people were complying. But from the tour, from last Saturday's show, there's some still pictures of Joel Patterson up on stage.
Okay.
And there's some audio and what have you. But I think if you hold your phone out long enough, they come around and tell you to exit the stadium or theater. I guess they're not playing stadiums.
Okay.
But anyway, it's interesting because I've seen Bob Dylan a bunch of times, and it's his reputation, I guess, as being prickly, I guess, is getting a little more severe as he gets well into his 80s. That's what it seems like. I don't know any inside information.
I have no clue other than I know he likes hoodies.
That's new too, I think. Where he likes hoodies, but now he's wearing them on stage. It's kind of
Is
strange.
he actually wearing them on stage?
Yes, you put the hood up.
Like,
He's got the hood up on stage. Yeah. Do you remember when they picked him up in New Jersey?
yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah. Well, he's walking. He's performing like that now. So it's
Wow.
weird. Yeah.
You'd think he'd be all. I mean, the hoodie's a more current look. You'd think he'd be okay with cell phones.
You get some social media out there, but he used to perform, and everybody would be dressed nicely, and he'd be wearing like a Western or not quite a nudie suit, but a kind of a Western outfit.
Okay.
And now he's just wearing,
Yeah.
just rolling out of bed. And
He's just like giving up.
he's slumming it.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, yeah, he can do it.
But
People
with
go.
Bob Dylan.
Okay. Is that it for the?
That's it.
Okay. All right. So we didn't mention pickups of the week,
We can do that now.
but Matthew, you have brought in. We had mentioned this. Was it last show or the show before last?
Show before last, I think. Yeah.
That P90s out of phase. Excuse me, have a little different sound, and so you have a chambered historic reissue that I once owned.
That's correct.
With throwback special SB or SB special pickups in it,
That's
with
right.
a neck magnet flip.
That's correct.
2 magnets both have to be flipped. So we will play that. Should we compare it against a Les Paul equipped with PAF reproductions
Sure.
or PAF style reproductions? Okay, we'll do that. We will be right back. You got to get your bass,
Okay.
and then we will demonstrate that difference. Okay, be right back. All right, Matthew, we are back. Let's. Should we check in with Paul?
Yeah.
Just talk to him briefly here. Paul, we're checking in with you. Can you tell the
Hello.
audience what you're up to there?
I am taping bobbins.
Okay. Paul is working on a super secret set of pickups for our magnet comparisons that we will be doing here soon with some Heritage Custom Core H150s that we have shown on the show previously. And he's working on that right now
Nice.
for future shows.
Right.
Okay. Let's get back to the
Pickups of the week.
pickups of the week. Okay. So right here we have got Matthew again. Darn it. Okay. So we back to the guitar. This is the out of phase Les Paul gold top with out of phase P90s. The throwback special SB. You can order any of our pickups out of phase if you just put in the notes to seller or special instructions box that you would like a neck magnet flip. Happy to do it. So this is the out of phase middle position tone. Okay, we'll play something and then we will contrast that with PAF style humbuckers out of phase. I maintain that this tone with P90s is a bit different. It's a little meatier sounding out of phase. Little thinner with PAF style humbuckers. Hopefully this will come across, but we'll play something. Let's to show the settings here real quick. We are playing with this through a deluxe reverb, Silverface deluxe reverb, and there are the settings there on the bottom. We are using a Nobles ODR1, and that's this is the settings that we're using today. And let's get to the playing here. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to where I need to be. And you ready, Matthew?
Ready.
Okay. I'll switch the guitar right now to the out of phase humbuckers. All right.
These are the 57.
The 57s. Let's just do a drum roll and we'll. Okay, these are the 57 Steelheads. In the 2004 R7 historic reissue. And now this has the push-pull pot that will put the middle position out of phase. So, it's not accomplished with a magnet flip. Although tone's very close, I don't know that you can really tell a difference as far as the switching and the magnet flip in the style of pickup. But, all right, humbucker, PAF style humbuckers, out of phase. Ready, Matthew?
Ready.
Opinions, Matthew?
It's slightly there. It is different.
I think this is a little twangier on the low end.
Is that what it is?
It's more trebly.
Do you think that one's more nasally? Would you?
I think
The
it's
P90?
I think it's a little meatier sounding.
Meteor sounding. Yeah. Well, that would.
Fatter sounding with the P90s.
Yeah, I think that would sum up the pickups too, wouldn't it?
Well, let me just switch it real quick. I'll just do this.
Okay.
Those are the PAF style pickups. Switch it real quick. All right. The P90s out of phase.
Yeah.
Big difference. This does not sound as radically different of a tone with the bridge. I mean, it's obviously different, but here's a bridge, there's a neck, there's a middle. I think the output's maybe a little closer too than out of phase PAF style pickups. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's put this stuff away.
All right.
And we will get to the guitar argument. Matthew,
have at it.
Are we ready for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Be right back with the guitar argument. And we'll find out why these tube amp things are just totally useless. Okay, be right back. Okay, we're back, Matthew, with a serious matter. I guess it's not fair to say that tube amps are useless, but is it the end? Is this sort of like Joe Bonamassa crossing the Rubicon?
I think he's the arbiter of all things tube. You know, if he's going to throw in the towel,
there's no going back at this point.
What hope is there for the rest of us mere mortals?
Man,
it's over.
All right, you propose this as a guitar argument. This may be a little too rough to handle
for people to hear.
Okay, which side of this are you taking? Are you defending the lowly tube amp, or am I?
You're going to defend the lowly tube amp. I'm going to.
Okay.
I'm going to read its.
You're going to read its
or etch its epitaph into his gravestone.
Okay. All right.
At least maybe for certain people out there, they've already done it, but I'm just going to announce it, I guess.
All right. You're going to start with this.
I'll start.
All right. Let's go, Matthew. 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So just a brief introduction. So this came up because Joe Bonamassa has announced, you know, maybe people don't know, but he had a hearing issue last November. He lost some temporary hearing in his right ear during a performance. And then he was diagnosed with, there's a term for it, AAT. It's like auditory something, temporary auditory, sort of like he lost his hearing. But I think it's come back, but the writing's on the wall for him, like you got to tone it down because you're gonna get permanent damage. So he's been beta testing these Fender ToneMaster high-powered twin amps, and he's going to take them out this summer on tour with.
Is this part of the plan? I mean, as far as the hearing thing goes, or
I think it must be part of it. I think that must be part of it. I don't know exactly, but I think part of it is just that sheer volume that's coming off those amplifiers. Yeah. I think it's like you're not going to get that with a digital amp. You're going to get the sound, and you can get the sound of the front of house and everything, but I think it's much more controllable on stage and on what he's going to be listening to. But it's also come up a couple of times because there's other bands like Rush is now back out on tour. In their last tour of 11 years ago or so, it was 11 years ago this summer, they didn't have anything on stage. Everything was off stage.
Oh yeah, I saw an interview with Alex Lifeson talking about this.
So he's doing the same thing. He's using Tonex and he's using fractal systems. But what he's doing is kind of interesting. They've gone back and they've modeled everything.
Yeah.
So if he's playing a song from the first record, he can get the tone from the first record. Or they're playing something from Moving Pictures, he can get that tone.
We're doing the cool down already.
I'm sorry, I don't get that.
Where this is supposed to be heated.
I'll get more into the heated part. So the main thing that's going on for the big touring musician, they've already thrown in the towel with the tube amp. It's cost, it's upkeep, it's the maintenance, it's the weight of these things. They're not using them. Metallica doesn't use them. Rush isn't using them. A lot of bands are just going. I saw Weezer a few years ago. They had Kemper systems. It's 2 Kemper systems, so they had a redundancy on off stage. So they weren't using it.
Argument. This is your argument that it's all about weight.
Well, it's about weight, and it's about convenience, and it's about going from country to country to country and not having to worry about voltages, and it's not worrying about breaking stuff or damaging stuff, because you're getting the sound, and at the end of the day, you're getting everything.
I think is this just a symptom of an aging rock star populace? Is that what we're really seeing here? They no longer want to be. They're just too crotchety to take this stuff out anymore because it's too heavy. Costs too much money. We're going to save our pennies.
Maybe
is that really what it's about?
Possibly.
It's not about tone.
Well, they're getting the tone.
Talking about the tone, but talking about the tone is different than the tone, isn't it?
Talking about it,
it's the tube tone. I mean, no. Again, it's just lowly me. I have a ToneMaster Deluxe Reverb. It's a very nice amp. It sounds great. In fact, if that's all you had, I don't think you'd feel like you're missing anything. But we took, but you take it to a gig, and then if you take the tube one on to the next gig, there is a little something missing, and it's a little. The way I describe it is there is a little bit more when you dig in with the tube amp. Now, perhaps this has been conquered by Joe Bonamassa super amps, Tone Masters.
The latest ones, the latest version.
That's been my experience. I don't know. What do I know, though? I don't know anything.
You're just depressed that they're taking away your candy?
That's it. But I maintain that these things stick around as art processes. Retro art processes. You see this in photography. People still do gum bichromate prints and platinum printing, even though these are horribly outdated, archaic processes. Why do they do it? Because there is a specific look associated with it, and there is a craft associated with the execution of those processes. So, I think the tube amp will have some. Will be around for the elite artists because it will have the same appeal. Am I wrong on this, Matthew?
Are we officially in the cool down phase?
I guess we're in the cool down. Sure.
Well, I think you are right in that respect because I think the tube amp. I mean, we still have vinyl records that you could go into these stores.
How much do you think a vinyl record would cost today with it if inflation adjusted? From 1956. The reason I say this
from a vinyl record 1956.
Yeah, I saw an Elvis performance from 1956. I don't know if it was on Ed Sullivan or who's the other? He first appeared not on Ed Sullivan. He appeared on what's his name? I forgot his name now. But it was from one of those performances from 1956, and they had an ad come up for the record. I think it was $3.98 for a full LP.
And was this on
$3.98 or $3.86 or something like this?
Yeah, it's $4.
Yeah,
it's $4. Wow.
Inflation adjusted. What do you think that would be today? I did the calculation.
Hang on, let me just do a rough calculation in my head. That's 4 about 8 times. I'd say it's 8 times. 8 to 9 times.
It's $49 today. A little over $49.
So it's like 11 times then, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, but you're right in terms of it's an old process that has a certain sound and aesthetic, I guess, associated with it that it has an appeal as a retro item.
So I shouldn't complain.
So is the amp this way? Is the tube amp this way? It heats up. It breaks. You can fix it. And then the other thing, and I've heard the Phil McKnight mention this, is that he just assumes that electronics, like an iPhone, these modeling amps, he thinks of it as an iPhone. The iPhone is not really meant to be around. The built-in sort of obsolescence of it as just an item is that they're not planning. I don't remember the number he put out, but he expects it like after 15 years, it's done. Because after 15 years, if it breaks, you're not fixing it because there's something else now that is much better technology, and even the components available for repairing it are long obsoleted and been replaced by some other technology. So you're basically you have a disposable amp after 15 years. You just have to think of it that way.
So it has really become, it will become, or if it already hasn't, the what do they call it? The musical appliance. Some people have referred to the amplifier as but these appliances are going to be like TVs that are going to be
Yeah, but I mean, a radio you can fix, an old tube radio.
Yeah.
So this is the advantage of the tube amp. Kind of beyond the kind of advancements in weight, output, in terms of volume, what tone you can get out of it, of the variety of things you can get out of one amplifier. you do have an item that's going to be obsolete because it'll just be replaced by something else.
I guess one way to think about it, isn't it? Probably the way to think about
That's
it.
the way to think about it if you want to keep your tube amps.
Yeah.
And want to sell them, I guess.
There's a
But
market for
when
it.
the tubes go, okay, so the tubes, are the tubes really made now just for like guitar amps? Probably. I know that a lot of military equipment, there's, I think tube equipment is immune to these electromagnetic attacks.
The electromagnetic pulse.
Pulse
Electromag-
attacks. So I
electromagnetic
believe
pulse.
there are sort of critical systems that are still run off of tubes for the U.S. government. I believe I'm right about that. But at some point, does that stop and there's just no production of tubes? And when that happens, I guess you're out of luck.
Start stockpiling. now.
Boy, it's kind of depressing, isn't it? I don't know why. Maybe it's depressing because, slightly depressing. We had an experience this week with magnets. So we have talked about this over and over. Our magnets are all USA made. Alnico magnets, rod and bar magnets. And the history of this sort of within recent years is that there were three manufacturers. There was Permanent Magnet in Indiana, Thompson Skinner in Indiana, and Arnold in Illinois. And Arnold also had a sort of a separate location in Nebraska,
Ogallala.
Oglala, tongue twister, for specifically kind of set up for some guitar pickup magnets. They're closing that location. Permanent Magnet's now gone. That's been gone for, I think, 10 years. So I can still get the magnets from Arnold, but not from not from that location. I guess they did the grinding operations for guitar magnets at the Oglala. In fact, I was already ordering from both their Illinois facility and the Oglala. Just for years I've been doing that. But so that sort of already shrunken universe of USA-made magnet availability is now shrinking further. Is this what happens with tubes? It's like it's kind of already happened with tubes. So then the question is, at some point, is his universe shrink to the point where, there's no point in a manufacturer sort of servicing a very small customer base. So we can still get the magnets, but it's like, I don't know, is writing on the wall with that?
You got to keep using them.
Is that going to be, is this the fate of tubes also?
I hope not. Well, I hope not. 'Cause I mean,
no, I don't want anybody to be alarmed. We have lots and lots of really cool USA made magnets, and we just put in a purchase order for more. But when the universe, the smaller universe like this already is shrunken already to a very sort of core size, and then that gets chipped away, it's like, it's alarming. And that is that really what this the Joe Bonamassa thing is about, or kind of signals? It's like, well, you have sort of like a very vocal proponent of vintage gear and collecting, who has now kind of changed his tune. I'm assuming totally, sincere about this, but is this kind of the thin end of the wedge for tube amps?
well, I think for club use and for recording use and for home use, they're not going anywhere. But I think the big people who are doing big shows have already shown that it's nice, but it's probably more headaches than it's worth. So.
Yeah, but the sort of the thing that's required for the tube amp is the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is there some tipping point at which the tubes are now just not as profitable to make and sell? I don't think that's today, but is this sort of pointing down the road at that? Maybe. But I don't know.
You use it or lose it. That's what I say. Keep using your tube amps and buying your tubes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one thing I wanted to try. So I've got an audience polls for the guitar argument. So is the tube amp era over? So you say yes or no. Digitally.
Oh, you mean in the comments?
Yeah, people could make People could make.
I would
leave a
assume
comment.
our audience is going to be no. It's not over. It's not over, but it is definitely interesting that the guy whose stage show is piles of tube amps.
Yeah.
Of high desirability.
Yeah, you get to hear them.
Has decided that this is something that works for him, and
did he have? Was everything chained when he would have like 4 or 5 amps, or how many ever? Amps
I think he can. I think he can switch, between combinations of amps whenever he wants.
We saw Joe Bonamassa here at DeVos Place years ago now. I think it was 8 or 9 years ago. But I wonder if they have something up on the wall for the guitar nerds, and so if he switches amplifiers, it says what it's playing through at that time.
When we saw him, I think he was just playing twins.
He was just playing twins.
I think so.
But
I don't think he had Dumbles
on
stage with him then.
Because there's a lot of people there who are I'd say big proponent of them, or big number of them are big sort of gearheads. So it'd be interesting if there was a way of indicating this is what I'm playing through right now. What amp
that
he's
would be
playing.
kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, what we need to do with Joe is we put him in a booth, and then he can just crank the amplifiers, and people who want to watch their hearing disintegrate.
he would say, well, this is great news. These highly collectible amps now, the technology exists to make them sound as good or better for his use. So that's good for everybody, right?
Well, it's interesting when you say it like that, because there's a picture on Instagram that shows 4 of these Tone Master Fender high-powered twins that he's going to take out on the road. But if he did what Lifeson and what these other people do, if he used the fractal system, just clone everything that he has.
Yeah, well,
that would be interesting to see what he thinks of that.
I think Fractal's a specific brand. I'm not really familiar with all the kind of ways of modeling, but
that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah,
you get the exact sound, or as close as you can right now to.
Yeah, I don't know how the Tone Master stuff differs. I'm just not well enough educated about sort of all the variations of how these amps are duplicated, but it is going to get better too.
Yeah,
and again, I do think Phil McKnight's right in terms of this. This is also kind of the incentive for an amp manufacturer. Think of the sort of the advantage to an amp manufacturer if they know that they're making something that is going to be in 15 years be replaced by something that a player is going to prefer, or in 15 years these are just through normal sort of electronic attrition are going to start failing, and they're not going to be worth. They just won't be worth repairing, and you have new customers now for new amps. Whereas Fender is like they're dealing with amps from the 1950s that are still serviceable.
They're competing with
They're competing with themselves. So Yeah, think of it. If you're an amp manufacturer, and this is kind of your dream, eventually.
Do you think the amplifier head will come back in? Because if you had a cabinet, if you're going to be replacing something in 10 or less years, wouldn't it make more sense to have it as a unit that you can
maybe, I mean, you would think that maybe the model for this really is what really happens is effect pedals. You have kind of single standalone units that can do just any effect you want, yet still people want a stomp box. They want rows of them. And what's the reason for that? It's not really so much about sound. It's that there's a collectible aspect of it, and seeing something physically in front of you, and being able to the tactile advantage of being able to twiddle the knobs and everything. So that maybe that remains with amps, but you now have a technology though that doesn't have the maintenance cost of tubes, but also doesn't have the longevity of a tube amp in terms of serviceability, which is a net plus for the manufacturer, and maybe a sort of okay compromise with the buying public if they know that they're replacing their old digital amp that no longer works with one that can do things better than the old one. Yeah, it's going to happen, isn't it? All right. I guess that's okay. It's a little depressing. I don't know why.
Say goodbye to your tube.
Say goodbye to the tube amp.
Has to go now.
Okay. Okay. I like my tube amps. I like my Tone Master too, but I'm not like itching to replace it.
I'd like to try this
or the tube amps. And two, really
high-powered twin.
Really, with the gig thing, we played outside twice, back to back. Once I brought a regular Tube Deluxe Reverb reissue. The next time I brought a Tone Master. And you could tell the difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if an outdoor gig, definitely you're going to hear the difference.
Yeah, it doesn't push as much air as they say.
Yeah, it like the headroom of it gave up with the Tone Master in a way that it didn't give up with a tube amp. Maybe this is not an issue with Joe Bonamassa. What are the wattage of these things? These are high powered amps, so maybe it's not. Maybe he's not hitting that. He doesn't need to hit that. He's just not going to hit that kind of limitation of the headroom in the same way as he would with lower wattage.
With your Tone Master, you didn't run it through the PA.
No.
So
yeah. Okay, so Matthew, we're going to your Rorschach riffs.
Okay.
Now, what would make this whole Tone Master thing and digital modeling amp even more depressing is if I were to find out that you were going to use some sort of electronic aid.
Are you afraid of the future?
For the Rorschach riffs. But you're not going to do that, are you?
I probably will.
I heard rumors that you're going to have a laptop here with tablature.
I just need
for your Rorschach riffs.
Now these are special Rorschach riffs.
Oh,
and I just need
just all going to pieces.
Well, I don't really play. You know, a lot of these songs you kind of grew up with.
And show the audience this laptop. It's not even a tough guy laptop.
This is my wife's laptop.
It's your wife's. This is where it's going.
It has a fancy little.
Next time, my guess is the next thing I'm going to know is you're asking your wife permission to buy a Tone Master amp. Am I right?
You think that's what's going to happen?
It's a decline of Western civilization starting right now. Okay. All right. So I got to get your guitar, Matthew.
I need
a guitar. What do you need?
Well, let's go for the guitar of the Pickups for the Week guitar.
Okay.
I practice on that.
I will get your. Let's turn the drum roll on. There you go. Okay, let me get your cord here. Let me unmute you. Okay. All right, let's see if Paul is still around. Is there anything here that Paul may clue in on, Matthew?
Oh, the clues for the Rorschach.
Paul, where
Paul.
are you?
I'm over here. I'm getting
he's
a
in
post-it note.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so the clue, in keeping with
He'll be back.
the what did they say? What's the term? In keeping with the celebration, all the songs are of a patriotic nature.
Just think, during the bicentennial, there was no such thing as a digital modeling amp. 1976.
It wasn't even a
Tubes.
twinkle in somebody's
If you
eye.
wanted a good amp, you were getting tubes.
Was that right in the middle of the silver face era?
And now we got people just don't know what to believe anymore, do you?
I think we'll keep it like
I
that.
think you're good. Hold on. I got my cord wound up in my feet here. Okay, Matthew. Rorschach riffs.
Okay, so these are of a patriotic nature.
Okay, let's make sure Paul's set up here.
We'll wait. For
And
Paul.
again, the audience, these are patriotic songs.
Yeah, for the
Patriotic
250th.
rock and roll songs. Okay, well I'm gonna
I
guess
didn't say
one
they
of
were
them.
rock and roll.
One of them is Philadelphia Freedom. Let me see if I can get them beforehand. Philadelphia Freedom. That's all I can think of right now. All right. Let's see. Here's
Born
Paul
in the
here.
USA.
Born in the USA. Right, there we go. But okay.
Well, you didn't listen to what I said.
What would you say?
I said they're of a patriotic nature,
Oh,
but then you
patriotic.
said that they were rock and roll songs. I didn't think
Okay,
as,
all right.
as far
all right.
beyond
This
as you
is
did.
where it's gone now. No tube amps, and now Rorschach riffs aren't even rock and roll. Okay, start. Well, let's see what you got.
Now you- it's just gonna be hard doing it like this.
What the hell's going on?
I can't do this.
Stand beside her and guide her with
I'm gonna do that.
okay. All right. Okay.
Enough?
Okay. Yes, enough. Yeah, we this is just okay, Paul. Paul, you don't say it, but you figured it out. This is number 2. Is this the
I
second
need a
one?
little distortion for this.
It's on, Matthew.
That's on.
Matthew.
I messed that up there.
The fabric of our democracy is dissolving right now. What the heck? Come on. What? Okay, it sounded familiar. Hey, well, maybe the second go around we'll get it. Okay, this is 3 now.
Hang on a second. I've lost something here.
I've lost faith in the American way. Well, let's go. Come on.
Hang on.
Truth, justice, and
This one I can't do. I'm gonna give up on that one.
this is not the kind of can-do attitude that built this country, Matthew.
Now, is that I want some distortion. Give me some distortion.
Okay, hold on. I'll turn it up for you here.
There we go.
All right.
There we go. Now we're doing it.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. Well,
know
that
that
one
one?
we know. Okay. Okay. That's 3, right?
Right.
Okay. Let's hear the fourth one.
Oh my god! If I can get the fourth one, I can't get it into my head. You know what? I can't get. That's the problem. I didn't learn these and give myself enough time. Hang on. Oh, there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty. That's pretty sad. Even,
Okay. Let's see.
but I
Okay.
redeemed myself with this
let's,
one.
Let's go through. Okay. Let's go through them one more time.
my God.
Number 1, Matthew.
You gonna make me do it again? How about?
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
This sort of entertainment doesn't come along every week.
I'll do the battle hymn. I can't see the song.
Well, that's 4.
Yeah, I know, but it's easier because I just did the darn thing. I can't remember how to do these darn things. They're making me sweat now. This is. I think next week you're going to start doing these now. I'm going to retire.
Let's check it with Paul. Okay. Can you do 2? I think I know them all except for 2.
Where is it? It's gone away.
You're gonna have to play them again when I guess them.
No. You're going to have to review. I can't remember what the other one was.
That's the second one.
Yeah, I can't find it now. I can't remember how to play them all. I can't remember. Which
Oh
one it
my
was.
gosh!
It's falling apart right
The
on
whole,
live
the
on
whole.
thing.
This is. Oh,
Oh, the only one that matters is this one though. Everyone stand now.
Okay, what was number 1? Oh no. Okay. All right. Number 1 was God Bless America.
That's right.
Okay. Number 2, I don't know,
Number 2 was,
and I'm never gonna hear it again.
Number 2, I think, was America the Beautiful.
Oh, okay. Number 3 is the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Well, no.
Paul.
Well,
Let's,
3 was
sure.
supposed to be the Battle Hymn of the
Paul.
Republic.
I'm sorry. I need to let you do this. What number was number 1?
No, you already did that. Number 3 is
okay.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's
Number 4.
absolutely right.
What's number 4?
I don't know.
Yeah, and you said it was.
I
It's
couldn't tell.
It's the Battle Hymn of the Republic, but it's my eyes have seen the. What is it?
Yeah,
The
it's-
glory of the coming.
Yeah, I think it's a. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then didn't Elvis Presley use it in sort of his trilogy?
I don't know.
What was his name? That he did the glory, the big
Oh.
sort of American
Yeah.
trilogy.
Okay.
He did as part of his live show in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, Matthew, that was interesting.
I'm trying to keep it real here on the show. That's
Well, you accomplished that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So here, let's. Should we go
Oh.
to finish it up here with your musical musings?
Sure.
Are there any?
yeah, no, I got musings. Let's take a look. I thought we would do.
You want me to take the guitar here?
Yeah, I'll probably drop
here,
it,
Hold on,
so-
hold on here.
Do you want to grab that? You got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Got it. Where are my music? Okay, so I thought, in keeping with the 250th, I thought we'd take a look at the history of the guitar in America.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So-
sorry, I'm not.
Just, I've cured insomnia here.
Okay, go ahead.
So I looked up, did a little research, and I could find that Thomas Jefferson, one of the founding fathers, and Benjamin Franklin were. Well, Thomas Jefferson was a musician and had a musical room at Monticello in Virginia, but he purchased guitars for his daughter in France.
Yes.
And actually, going back, there's a receipt apparently for guitar strings that he purchased in 1776 in Philadelphia, and it's suspected that those were for his wife. But there isn't proof that he played himself, but he apparently bought strings from a merchant, Michael Hillegas, in Philadelphia. So it's kind of interesting this stuff survives. But in 1788, when he was in Paris, he purchased a guitar it would be the equivalent of $14 at the time for his 10-year-old daughter, Maria.
And I have a photo of this guitar.
Well,
is this his guitar?
This guitar, the photo that guitar apparently came back from France, came back to Virginia, but the guitar that we have, if I'm not mistaken, this was purchased in 1826 for his granddaughter, and it's called an English guitar.
And this is Thomas Jefferson bought this for his granddaughter.
For his granddaughter, what was her name? I've got it down somewhere. Virginia Randolph Trist. And this is an English guitar. Apparently, I think it's 10 strings. I don't have a picture of it on the ends, but
well, you can. There's little slots there for strings. It looks like. Can you count those? I think it looks like it's probably maybe 10.
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be a 10. But but he played. Jefferson played. Where's my list of things that he played? I think he played the piano and whatnot, but didn't play the guitar. But he was a guitar buyer.
Oh my!
There you go. Maybe, but I think that guitar might have been even purchased used. I think it might have been purchased from someone else. Now, Benjamin Franklin played the guitar, but we don't have anything that survived from him. He played the harp, violin, viola, but he also invented the glass harmonica. Do you know
glass harmonica?
No, harmonica.
Harmonica.
Do you know what that is?
Is it these things that you like rub your fingers, like glasses that have a certain amount of water and you rub your fingers around it, or?
Yeah, it's a mechanical version of doing that, and all you have to do is rest your fingers on it. So there are all these different pieces of glass in this thing that turns.
Oh,
and so you can play your notes by kind of resting your fingertips on them. I saw a video recently, totally unrelated to looking this stuff up, of somebody playing one, and you said you've really got it. They were scrubbing their hands like crazy, and then to get all of the sort of dead skin off and all the grease off and everything, and then they would play this harmonica. So it's a long collection of glass that it spins, and then you can. But he invented that in London, I believe, in 1861. Jefferson did. 1761, in London. And
Jefferson or Benjamin Franklin?
Sorry, Benjamin Franklin invented that when he was in London in 1761. And Mozart, who he met, conducted. It was kind of crazed with these things, but Mozart, not conducted, but he composed two pieces specifically for the.
Wow!
But they were very popular because it was unusual.
Yeah. That
it was a mechanical sort of thing. And also note, but this isn't related to the guitars and what have you, but the day that this show will appear on Saturday, July the 4th, that's the 200th anniversary of the death of Thomas Jefferson. He died on the 4th of July. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I mean, no, maybe I did know that.
My kids and they had a float in the Hollyhock Parade, which you know well.
That's right. I used to live in the neighborhood where it had the Hollyhock Parade, and they would start it with this blaring music in the morning. I'm glad I don't live there anymore.
But
this is the oldest neighborhood parade in Grand Rapids, right?
No, in Michigan.
In Michigan,
it's the oldest
congressmen
continuous.
Show up.
It's a big deal, yeah.
And they would be milling around behind my house.
It's
starting at like 6 a.m.
But it's a real
Oh, my gosh.
slice of Americana. It'll be the 92nd continuous sort of annual event of this parade. It's been going since 1934. So, but what's interesting is that Thomas Jefferson died on the 4th of July, 1826, and then his arch enemy John Adams died the same day.
Yes, I knew that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know they died the same day, like within hours of each other, right?
And apparently, John Adams, when he died, he said, "I die, but my nemesis lives." And he wasn't aware that Jefferson was already dead. But apparently, he died a little after him. But he thought he was. Do you know much about their history? I don't know much about their history.
I think they did.
Bumped heads,
I think they sort of like became sort of. I think they corresponded like later in life.
Yeah, I think that's true.
End to end kind of had patched up their political
Differences.
vitriol.
But they went at it during the day. And then also, James Monroe, the 5th president of the United States, died on the 4th of July as well in 1831.
Well, how about that?
And we had one president who was born on the 4th. Do you know who that
Who's
was?
that?
Calvin Coolidge.
Calvin Coolidge. I did not know that.
So,
Okay.
historic day.
All right. Is that it? I think that's it.
I think that's it. So we have to wave.
All right. You're waving your flag there.
Get out there and play your guitars and play your amps while you still can. Support your local tube manufacturers
Okay. All right. That's it.
before the machines take over.
Enjoy your 4th of July. But let's see with Paul. Do you have grand plans for the 4th of July?
I'm gonna work.
Are you going to be working?
Are you seriously?
You be in
No.
here slaving?
I might come in.
Maybe I'll,
I'm gonna probably
maybe
be
I'll go
working
to the
on it.
lake.
Oh, okay. All right.
I hope,
There's-
Probably not,
the forecast calls for rain, but I'm hoping the rain is like at 2 a.m. and it's nice. It's cooled off for people to go out and enjoy the day. That's my hope.
All right. Well, we'll hear about it next week.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks
for
everybody for
listening.
watching.